Halifax is a really great city. It's home to over 400,000 residents, many of which are students, but you'll find everyone here. Young, old, new to the province, new to the country, everyone. It's a city with such a rich history. It's sometimes referred to as the Warden of the North for its historical military role, and still today remains a major hub for Atlantic Canada's economy. It's no surprise that you'll find places in Halifax with an equally rich history, one of which being a little church on the corner of Windsor and Summit Street. Okay, maybe it's not so little, but it used to be. Many people don't know this, but the seeds that would become Faith Tabernacle Church didn't start in the Maritimes. In the 1920s, there was a big Pentecostal revival happening in the USA. Two ladies attended, Dr. Schaffner and Judge Mackenzie, and they brought the revival back here to Halifax. Thousands attended, and in response to all the people that wanted more, she sent Reverend and Mrs. Burkhard to minister to the people of Halifax. That winter was pretty harsh, and unfortunately, they returned home after just one winter here. But that didn't stop the people that remained. They started meeting in small groups throughout Halifax and Dartmouth. After repeated requests were sent to the Pentecostal Assemblies of Canada, evangelist W.R. Watson was sent to organize 40 families into a church body. They rented the Mayflower Rink and had their meetings there. His life story, from bank robber to evangelist, drew many crowds. So there you have it. The first pastor of the church was a bank robber. Then, in 1929, Pentecostal Revival Tabernacle was opened in Simon's Hall on the corner of Gottingen Street and Kennard. And later, in 1930, Reverend Watson became the first superintendent for the Maritimes. By October 1930, the meeting place had moved to 79.5 Gottingen Street and became known as the Little Church Upstairs. It wouldn't be the first time they moved either. 1933, the lot on the corner of Windsor and Kennard was purchased, and in the middle of the Great Depression, they built the church and moved in on New Year's Day. 1935, another name change. A lady in the church suggested Faith Tabernacle Church based on a revelation that God is faithful and He would build His church. 1965, the lot on the corner of Windsor and Summit Street was purchased and moved into in 1966, with further renovations and add-ons in 1975. The question remains though, what has been the identity of this church over all these years? What has been the driving force that caused them to do the sometimes seemingly crazy things that they've done over the years?
The people in Faith Tabernacle Church have never let any kind of difficulty stand before them when faced with bringing forth the vision that they have. We've had people take their families, plant churches elsewhere, go for short-term and long-term missions, start new ministries. We've even had one of our pastors stuck in a World War prison camp because he was in Japan at the time preaching the gospel to the people there.
Faith and Music was the program that we released every Sunday afternoon following the lunch hour. It was a program over the Atlantic Television Network, and we had the privilege of preaching the gospel and sharing wonderful testimonies with people throughout Atlantic Canada. That was a joyous time, knowing that we were touching many, many hearts.
Our history is filled with a number of stories of people doing crazy and amazing, innovative things to reach the people in our city and beyond. And the story doesn't end there with the people that came before us. The story continues today with a number of different and really exciting ministries within Faith Tabernacle Church that continue to drive the mission forward of bringing the gospel of Jesus to Halifax and the world.
My name is Jordan Cameron, and I currently pastor Evensong, which is a campus ministry on Dalhousie University's campus sent out by Faith. Evensong started about 4 or 5 years ago, and it looked a lot different than it does today. So it started out as every couple of months we gathered people from the city together to worship, a worship night for young adults. And then as we kept doing that, we decided, well, we want to do this more often and we want to try a few different places. So what we did is we gathered everyone. Once a month we would have a service at Faith, And then we'd have a service the next month at Spatz Theatre, and then we'd have a service the next month at Dalhousie University. And when we started to reevaluate what we were doing, we thought, okay, where are we reaching the most people? Where are we interacting with the most people who don't know Jesus? And the answer to that was Dalhousie's campus. So we decided that we were going to go to Dalhousie every week. So that's what Evensong looks like now. We are on Dal's campus in some form or another every week. So one week we'll do a service and gather all kinds of people together in worship. Then the next week we'll split off into small groups around the Dal campus and just connect with each other and dig deeper into the Word. Evensong, we always say we're about music, Bible, and connection. So worshiping God through music, hearing to what He has to say to us through His Word, and connecting with Him and each other. The vision of Evensong really aligns with the vision of faith, and it is spreading the gospel of Jesus to Halifax and the world. On our campuses, we have so many students. Some come from our community, the rest of Canada, and all over the world. So what we're doing is we're meeting those students where they're at in their time of studies and sharing the hope of Jesus to them so that when they go back to where they're from and live their lives, they're a catalyst for the gospel around the world. So that's our vision, that's why we're there, and we're excited for what God is going to do.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I'm part of Stand in the Gap. We're a team that goes out to the streets on Friday nights. We go out late, and we just go out to serve the people and show God's love to those that are on the streets. It's a marginalized people that we're dealing with, and quite often they're ignored. And we just want to show the love. We want to treat them as individuals, and we want to show dignity and respect to them as we serve them, Lord. We do this with a team. It's a small team that we take out, and we, like I said, we go out late on Friday nights. And it's because we go downtown where the bar scenes are, and people are gathering where people are. There's, quite often they're panhandling, or they're even trying to sleep on the sidewalk. And so because of that, we pass out stuff like blankets, soup, hot chocolate. At Christmas time, we do the backpacks, and this is one of the backpacks that we would pass out, and it's filled with practical items that you could use every day, but it's a Christmas gift, and you would not believe the amount of opportunity that affords someone when you give that as a gift, because it shows that you care about them. We just want to model the image of Christ as we go out, and we're not condemning, we don't judge. It's just, like I said, it's just a matter of loving them. And so that's what we do.
We have a rich heritage at Faith. It's in the name, and it's in what has been done and the different things that have been attempted to pursue our goal and our mission to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to the heart of our city and to the world. So in marrying those two is like that history. The things that were done are such an inspiration. The prayers of the saints that have gone before, those that have sown, those that have believed, those that have invested in the next generation, which really is us. And so in bringing those things together, we can learn from and build on the faithfulness of the generations gone before who have sown into and invested into the why of bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ to the heart of our city and to the world, and how they've set an example and laid a foundation. It's like we're standing on the shoulders of giants of 90 years of history. Incredible. It's a gift to us to be able to move on from there. So in thinking of where we are now and the opportunities that are before us as we lean into the future, as we believe for next steps, I can see the level of community engagement actually increasing as we continue to use this building as a community center, a place where our community and the church cross paths and interact. I can see where things like our Standing in the Gap ministry, where We're bringing dignity to people that live on the street. I'm just believing for a move of God in and through that where we meet physical needs and minister to people where they're at, that I'm believing for God to come in and see that as an opportunity on God's behalf to come in and do miracles and change lives and minister to people right where they are. I love what's happening on the Dalhousie campus through Evensong, and just believing for the impact of that to increase and broaden as they continue to build relationships and sow into it and be incarnational on campus. I mean, that's got no place to go but up. It's incredible what's happening there, and through the leadership of Nathan and Jordan and those that they're raising up, I'm believing for continued and increased influence and impact, not just here in Halifax, but I believe what's happening there is something that can be modeled and duplicated and spread, across the nation. So in keeping with our mission of bringing the gospel to the heart of our city, even when we considered a name change, and why would we do that, and looking at that opportunity to think of Faith City Church as the name that we are known by in our city. We're already known as Faith, and that hasn't changed, and we will always be Faith in our city. But the scope of what God has called us to do, the power to actually influence and bring the gospel to a city, this is bigger than us. This is bigger than the corner of Windsor and Summit Street. This is the impact and the footprint of this congregation is as big as the combined footprints of all of the people that come to this church combined. When you consider the areas of influence of each one, whether it be Lower Sackville, whether it be out, on the Arm, whether it be across in Dartmouth, it's like our combined impact on this city is incredible, and God's going to use that and multiply that and further that for His glory. We are Faith City Church. We're not limited to this.